Human behavior can be explained by pleasure. Every voluntary act that we take aims at attaining some pleasure, whether that's getting up to make a sandwich, driving to work in the morning so that we can make money which sustains us and can buy us certain pleasures, or going on a date to a nice restaurant where we enjoy the pleasure of being out and having a nice conversation. And our ability to attain that which we desire, which is pleasure, Hobbes says, largely determines our happiness. Continual success in obtaining those things which a man from time to time desireth, that is to say, continual prospering, is that men call felicity. There is no such thing as perpetual tranquility of mind while we live here, because life itself is but motion, and can never be without desire, nor without fear, no more than without sense. Understanding that we always desire pleasure has helped me in two primary ways. First, it's helped me to focus more on my work rather than getting distracted by idle pleasures in the moment. The work itself isn't often pleasurable, but I know that completing it brings me closer to my long-term goals, which if I achieve them, I believe will give a deeper satisfaction that ultimately means more pleasure over the long run. Second, it's changed how I think about relationships. Before, I thought of love and friendship as a basic need because we're all social creatures. I thought of love as a mystical feeling that bounds us to friends, family, or a partner. But now I don't see it as mystical. We're drawn to people simply because they bring us pleasure. That pleasure comes in several forms. First, the interaction itself is pleasurable because it's stimulating, which breaks boredom. But this pleasure can quickly dissolve if we don't enjoy the company of the other person. People with whom we continue to find pleasure in beyond the initial stimulation are those that we either find amusing and can make us laugh, those who flatter us either through direct praise or from the quiet satisfaction we get from knowing we are liked by the other person. Or lastly, with those whom we find useful, either through the wisdom we can learn from them or the direct benefit that they can bring us, like a connection that will help us in our work or social standing. And seen this way, relationship is actually a self-serving exercise. We spend time with people because we find it pleasurable to do so. We don't spend time with people we don't enjoy, even if they enjoy spending time with us. In that way, we're selfish. Hobbes writes, "Of the voluntary acts of every man, the object is some good to himself." The only exception to this rule is the love that a parent feels for their child. This love is often unconditional. But the child doesn't feel the same way towards the parent, nor do the parents feel the same way towards each other. Their relationship is sustained by the same principle as any other relationship, which is pleasure. Pleasure is what creates it, and pleasure is what maintains it. And if you think I'm being too cynical, I encourage you to examine yourself. For example, maybe you think that you prioritize loyalty to family over pleasure. But is it the case that you spend more time with the family members whom you find more pleasurable to be around? And when you do spend time around family members you don't find pleasurable, do you do it only because you take pleasure in the idea that you're a good or loyal person? Hobbes advises to read thyself, that for the similitude of the thoughts and passions of one man to the thoughts and passions of another, whosoever looketh into himself and considereth what he doth, when he does think, opine, reason, hope, fear, etc., and upon what grounds, he shall thereby read and know what are the thoughts and passions of all other men upon the like occasions. In other words, if you examine yourself and find this principle of pleasure to be true, then you'll know it's true in others as well. And I'll leave you with one final thought. I do think that people take pleasure in various aspects of relationship, and some aspects are more honorable to take pleasure in than others. For example, taking pleasure in lifting someone up is more honorable than taking pleasure in putting someone down. But in either case, it's still the self-serving goal of attaining pleasure that motivates the action. Let me know in the comments if you have any additional thoughts. The goal of the channel is to share ideas from philosophy that I've learned that are still applicable today. If that's something you're interested in, then subscribe to follow along, and I hope to see you in the next episode.